Well, so I just went through and did all 3 of my O2 sensors. I figure most people who would want to look this up are going to want to know where the locations are. First one, this one's kind of somewhat difficult to get to, is it's right down there on the right upstream side, just underneath the exhaust manifold for the motor. It's kind of difficult, but it's honestly not that bad because you could access it right through your wheel well. So you get your truck up on jacks, pull your wheel off if you really want to, but I was able to get in there just fine. The one that's past the cat is probably the easiest to get to. And that one is right there. The pigtail goes up and connects right into here. So that one's not too bad. That one's the easiest one out of the 3. Now this next one is the hardest out of the 3. There is no easy way around this one. Now, in order for me to get that one out, I had to use a 7/8 wrench and get up there with the wrench and loosen it up. And then I was able to get both my hands in there with gloves on, of course, because everything's still a little warm. And I was able to rotate it out from that side and from that side with both hands. So then after that, in order to get the connector out, that was kind of tricky, but I have this long Phillips head, or a long flathead screwdriver, and I just sent the shaft up there and pulled back on the little tang, and then with my other hand on the harness, after I had pulled the O2 sensor out, I was able to pull it out pretty easily. Now getting it back in is probably the most trickiest, and this is how I did it. Before I reconnected it up there, I got this pair of mechanical fingers and I reached up and grabbed with it on the connector. I aimed this right into place into the connection, into the female end, and with my other hand I stuck my Phillips up there again and pushed the connector into the female connector. So that's how I was able to do that. It's kind of tricky, a little unorthodox, but it was 100% functional. Now, I'll show you guys all the tools you're going to need for this job. So these are all the tools that I used. This is a O2 oxygen sensor socket. Goes around the wires and then down. I used this small extension, 3/8 inch drive ratchet, 7/8 inch wrench, pair of needle nose pliers, the aforementioned long screwdriver, and the mechanical fingers, as well as a light if you need one. I was able to do this job with all these tools. You don't need anything else. Like I said, it is kind of a pain to do it, but as long as you're patient, you should be able to get it done. I was able to complete this in about an hour, actually. So I'm actually kind of happy with the results, and I'm almost ready to turn the truck back on. There is another thing I want to mention, and that's besides putting all your panels back in, your access panels, you want to make sure that if it's been moved or knocked out of the way, and you have an automatic transmission like mine does, you'll want to slide this heat shield back down for your transmission selector. It goes right in there on the side of the trans, and yeah, just bring that little guy back down because that protects that cable from the heat from the exhaust. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it helps some of you. It's really not all that difficult. You just, like I said, you got to be patient. Pretty much all these tools can be purchased at Harbor Freight, so it's pretty cheap. You guys all stay classy.